here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar!
Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. B Gaming is a new YouTube channel here to bring you news, reviews, and guides to both popular and highly anticipated games. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider supporting the channel by dropping a like and subscribing for more. Don't forget to hit that bell so you know when I've dropped you a new video. You can also support this channel via Patreon, linked below. Now this video is part of a series of character guides for Tales of Arise. This is a beginner's guide to help you figure out what character fits your playstyle and how to get started playing as that character. These videos were recorded between level 28 to 30, getting to about the midpoint of the main story. Today, we're discussing Rinwell, your long-range caster, or Black Mage for you Final Fantasy fans. Rinwell is described as a long-distance fighter who primarily relies on astral arts. Though her arts are strong and have a wide reach, casting them takes time, so make sure to get some distance between her and the enemy before attempting any arts. When auto mode is enabled, Rinwell will primarily target enemies with lower HP during combat. As stated, because you're a long-range arts caster, you will want to keep that distance as you deal damage. This is because enemy attacks will interrupt your spell casting, and this is especially important to keep in mind because Rinwell plays very slow, even more so when taking advantage of her perk. Now Rinwell's perk is that while casting an art, you can press and hold the art button to delay activation until you let go. You can also press the square button in this state to save it for later and charge the spell. Charged arts activate after your next attack or art and can be used in combos. If you cast the same art as the one currently charged, they'll combine into higher tier spells. This can include arts that Rinwell has yet to learn or only trigger with specific combinations, so experiment and see what different pairs yield. Now for example, if you store Air Thrust and cast it on the second charge, it will use Crossblade. Spread will upgrade into Freeze Lancer, and Thunderblade into Holy Lance. However, you can actually save this a second time and cast the spell on the third charge, upgrading it even further. Crossblade turns into Cyclone, Freeze Lancer into Tidal Wave, and Holy Lance into Divine Saber. These are wide-range AoE attacks of the corresponding element, great for encounters with multiple enemies. This is why you can see that it's so important to keep your distance and stay back in order to not only cast, but to store those spells and charges and cast again for a second or even third time before finally releasing the art on your target. Pay attention and anticipate enemy movements as you can easily miss the target, especially your more agile enemies. However, using a party member's boost attack and breaking your target is very useful for keeping a target in place when you finally release your spells. Utilizing this perk is fun. Although slow, casting higher tier magic means high damage and they look pretty spectacular too. Given that certain enemies have different weaknesses, I find it best to generally have one art in each element: lightning, wind, and your water or ice. This way, you always have something the enemy is weak to and another one that they're at least not resistant to that you can use along with it. As you know, you get penalized for casting the same art over and over. Once you gain access to a second page of arts, I recommend putting your buffs, such as sharpness and concentrate here, along with a quicker attack. Rinwell's perk even works with buffs. You can store sharpness or concentrate to cast it on the entire party on the second cast rather than just on yourself. Aerial arts are still part of your toolkit as Rinwell, but you won't find yourself using them as often as you would on your melee characters such as Alphen, Law, or Dohalim. You'll spend your time staying back, stacking and charging your spells, and anticipating enemy movements or getting that break so you can time unleashing that devastating high damage magic on your target. Rinwell's boost attack is also very useful. Rinwell's boost is called Magic Cancel. This attacks an enemy with a special art that disturbs astral energy. If the enemy is hit while casting an art, they'll be downed and Rinwell will steal the spell and charge it, leaving them unable to use it again for a while. This is very helpful when fighting your magical enemies. When you see that purple circle charging and Rinwell's boost is ready, switch target and interrupt that cast to keep you and your party safe or prevent that cast from buffing the enemy. If you like casters, you're going to have a fun time with Rinwell. She takes getting used to after starting with characters like Alphen because the playstyle is so different and definitely so much slower. But practice makes perfect and she is a lot of fun. Now as I said, this video is part of a series of guides for each playable character in Tales of Arise. Alphen is your main character and your melee fighter, Law your other melee fighter, Dohalim your mid-ranged fighter and healer, Xion the long-range gunner and healer, and finally Kisara your party's tank. If you're interested in each of these characters, I'll have linked their guides in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to all those who support this channel. I'll keep working to bring you entertaining gaming content along with the latest news, and hope to see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of the video, please leave a comment and tell me which of Rinwell's astral arts you think looks the coolest.